My name is Keith Hall. Welcome to another NASE Minute. Congratulations on starting your small business, creating your own job, and maybe today you're in the position of creating another job. You've decided you need someone to help you, so you're thinking about bringing on a new worker. One of the things you need to decide, and maybe have a question already, is that new worker an employee or an independent contractor? Now, deciding on the answer to that shouldn't be a matter of choice. Don't just think you can choose to treat them as an employee or as an independent contractor. The key point, of course, is the paperwork that you have to go through. If you have an independent contractor, at the end of the year, you have to do a 1099 if you pay them more than $600, relatively easy. If that worker is an employee, you have to do quarterly payroll tax returns, you have to withhold FICA and Medicare and federal income tax, you have to do a W-2, a W-3, a little more complicated, maybe a little less fun, not the greatest thing to do a bunch of paperwork. So most of us typically lean toward treating the worker as an independent contractor as opposed to an employee. The key thing I want you to remember today is it's not a matter of choice. It depends on the facts and circumstances of the working relationship, and it all comes down to control. Okay? Now, typically, you will have an employee-employer relationship if, for example, you control the work product. You provide tools for that person to do their job. You decide the hours that they work, and you control the end work product. You basically tell them when to do the work, how to do the work, you give them the stuff to do the work. If you're controlling all of those things, most likely your new worker is an employee, and you should treat them as such and do the paperwork corresponding to the employee-employer relationship. On the other hand, if your new worker controls the work product, they decide when and where to do the work. They have their own tools to do the work, and most likely they have other clients besides you. Typically now, that new worker is an independent contractor. Now, the Department of Labor has issued new information in determining whether that worker is an employee or an independent contractor, and they're concentrating on kind of the economic essence of the relationship. If that worker depends solely upon you for their living, then most likely they should be treated as an employee. This is a brand new standard, still lots of talk in DC about how we're going to regulate that. But bottom line, oversimplified, if your worker only works for you, they have no other clients, they don't do anything else, and they support their family with just the things they do for you, under that economic essence principle, the Department of Labor and most likely the IRS will view that worker as an employee. So before you decide employee versus independent contractor, step back and think about who controls the work product. Now, most of us small business owners are control types anyway, so we like to control everything. So most of the circumstances of your new workers most likely will lean toward being an employee. Now, if you're the type that want to do less paperwork, you want this worker to be an independent contractor, that's totally acceptable. That's great, in fact. Lots of small businesses are out there wanting to help you with the needs that you have. But if that's your situation, then recognize you need to allow them to control the work product. Let them control the tools they need to provide the services. Let them set their hours. So if you can build the relationship to match the relationship that you want as an independent contractor or as an employee, then at the end of the day, if a question comes up, everything will work out exactly the way that you wanted to. Of all the things we talked about here, remember that just the choice of employee versus independent contractor should be based on the facts and circumstances of the relationship. So make sure you think that through. I know that's a lot of complicated stuff. If you have specific questions, we're here to help. So bookmark our website at nase.org. If you have any of those questions, we're here every day just to answer those type of questions. So always remember, you're not alone.